So, you think you're being good to your diesel engine, driving it carefully, always shifting early to save a bit of fuel, maybe letting it warm up for a good long while on a cold morning. Well, I'm here to tell you that some of the most common habits, things you probably think are helping, are actually a slow-motion death sentence for your diesel. Forget what you think you know. We're about to dive into the 6 fatal mistakes that are quietly sending your engine to an early grave, and more importantly, how you can stop doing them right now. 1. The low RPM trap. That massive wave of torque you feel at low revs is addictive, isn't it? It makes you feel like you can just shift into top gear and let the engine pull from just over idle speed. I'm begging you, please don't do this. Constantly forcing your diesel to accelerate from extremely low revolutions per minute is called lugging, and it's incredibly destructive. While you might think you're being efficient, you're actually putting enormous strain on the engine's rotating assembly, from the crankshaft bearings to the connecting rods. On top of that, if you have a dual mass flywheel, you're absolutely torturing it. Think of it like this. It's the mechanical equivalent of trying to do a heavy leg press, starting with your knees completely bent in the wrong direction. It's a struggle. That shuddering and vibration you might barely feel is your engine screaming for you to downshift. Diesel engines have a specific power band where they're happy and efficient. Don't be afraid to let it rev a little. Give it a downshift and let the engine work where it was designed to, not where it's fighting to survive. 2. Feeding it junk food. Your modern diesel engine isn't like the old clunkers from the 1980s. Its fuel system is a masterpiece of precision engineering operating at pressures that can exceed 30,000 psi. That is an insane amount of pressure, and the components, especially the injectors, are built with microscopic tolerances. Now imagine forcing cheap, low-quality fuel through that system. Using fuel from a station that doesn't have a high turnover rate or just sells questionable discount diesel is like feeding a high-performance athlete a diet of pure junk food. These cheaper fuels are often loaded with tiny contaminants, and even worse, water. Those contaminants act like liquid sandpaper scouring those delicate injector parts, while water introduces internal corrosion, which is a cancer for your fuel pump and lines. The scary part is, the first symptom isn't a loud noise or a flashing light on your dash. The first symptom is usually a slow drop in your fuel economy. By the time you notice more black smoke pouring out of your exhaust, the expensive damage has already begun. The solution is simple. Stick to reputable, high-traffic fuel stations. Your engine will thank you for it. 3. The idle threat. It's an iconic image, right? A truck driver parked up with that diesel engine rumbling away for hours on end. This has led many people to believe that letting a diesel engine idle for long periods, especially to warm it up, is a good thing. Let me be perfectly clear. For a modern diesel, this is an old myth, and it is incredibly harmful. Excessive idling is one of the worst things you can do. At idle, the engine isn't running hot enough to achieve complete combustion. This leads to unburned fuel washing the lubricating oil off the cylinder walls and causes a nasty buildup of carbon. It also allows moisture to accumulate in your exhaust system and even in your engine oil. This moisture not only hinders the diesel particulate filter from doing its job, but also promotes internal corrosion, which is a cancer for your fuel pump and lines. The scary part is, the first symptom isn't a loud noise or a flashing light on your dash. The first symptom is usually a slow drop in your fuel economy. By the time you notice more black smoke pouring out of your exhaust, the expensive damage has already begun. The solution is simple. Stick to reputable, high-traffic fuel stations. Your engine will thank you for it. Quick break. We're growing this channel together. Like, comment, and subscribe to support for free. You can also send a super thanks or become a member to join me directly on this journey. Let's continue. 4. Driving it like you stole it, just for a minute. Believe it or not, being too gentle with your diesel engine all the time is actually hurting it. I know it sounds crazy, but you need to give it a good hard run every now and then. These engines are designed to work, to pull, and to get hot. If you spend your entire life driving below 2,500 revolutions per minute and never ever plant your foot to the floor, you're asking for trouble. This kind of gentle driving causes a massive buildup of carbon in the engine, clogs up the exhaust gas recirculation, or EGR valve, and can cause the variable vanes in your turbocharger to stick. The result is a sluggish, unresponsive, and inefficient engine. The fix is what old-school mechanics call an Italian tune-up. Once a week, or at least a couple of times a month, find a safe, open stretch of road, like a highway on-ramp. Give it the full throttle. Let the engine rev all the way through its power band for a few seconds. This blast of heat and pressure cleans out those carbon deposits, gets the turbo spinning freely, and maintains proper cylinder pressures, extending the life of your engine and saving you from very expensive repairs down the line. 5. The silent killer short trips. Those quick 5-minute drives to the supermarket or the 10-minute school run feel completely harmless, but to your diesel engine, they are absolute poison. A cold diesel engine wears out significantly faster than one that's at its proper operating temperature. The oil is thick and clearances are not optimal. But the real villain here is what happens to your after-treatment system, specifically the diesel particulate filter, or DPF. This filter is designed to trap soot from the exhaust, and to clean itself out, it needs to perform a regeneration cycle. This means the exhaust has to get up to a scorching 600 degrees Celsius for a sustained period, typically 15 to 20 minutes of continuous driving. Your short little trips never allow the engine to get hot enough for long enough to trigger or complete this vital process. So the soot just keeps building up, slowly choking your engine. If you notice your engine's idle speed has increased or the cooling fans are running on high for no reason, that's often the car desperately trying to start a regeneration. If you shut it off, you've just aborted the mission. Do this repeatedly and you are guaranteeing yourself a clogged DPF, which can cost thousands of dollars to replace, not to mention the potential for back pressure to cause further engine damage. If your life involves a lot of short trips, you absolutely must make a point to go for a dedicated 30-minute highway drive at least once a week. 6. Skipping your engine's blood transfusion. Car manufacturers love to advertise incredibly long service intervals. They'll tell you the engine oil is good for 20,000 kilometers, sometimes even more. This sounds fantastic on paper, and it helps them sell cars to people who want lower maintenance costs. But for the long-term health of your engine, it is a terrible idea. Diesel engines are inherently dirty beasts. The combustion process naturally creates soot, and a significant amount of that soot finds its way past the piston rings and into your engine oil. Over time, this soot contaminates the oil, turning it from a slick, protective lubricant into a gritty, abrasive paste. This contaminated oil then circulates throughout your engine, grinding away at your bearings, your camshafts, and every other critical internal component with every single mile you drive. The single most effective thing you can do to ensure your diesel engine lives a long and healthy life is to perform frequent oil changes. My personal rule, and the rule of nearly every experienced diesel mechanic I know, is to take whatever the manufacturer recommends and cut that interval in half. If they say 20,000 kilometers, you change it at 10,000 kilometers. A few quarts of oil and a new filter are the cheapest insurance policy you will ever buy for a component that costs tens of thousands of dollars to replace.